What's going on, guys? It's Swimzyy here and welcome back to a brand new Warframe video. Now in today's video we are going to look at all 27 items that Baro has brought for this rotation. And we're just going to see what items he's brought and if any are worth it or if any are not. So I do hope you enjoyed this video. Before we get into it, please subscribe, it does really help me out. Also leave a like on this video if you want to see some more Warframe content. That being said, let's get into it. The first thing we're going to get into is the Parasist Zebra skin. Now, you can purchase this for 300,000 credits and 325 ducats, and it is just a skin for the Parasist. The skin doesn't look that bad in general. I still wouldn't pay that much for a skin personally. If it was a new weapon, that would be a different story, but this is just a skin, so I would say stay away from it. Next, we have Primed Smite Infested, and you can pick this up for 140,000 credits and 350 ducats. Now, this mod gives you times 1.55 damage to Infested for melee weapons. It is a very good mod to use, and I actually think you should pick this up because even though it is a primed mod, dealing damage to Infested can be helpful. The Infested isn't actually the hardest faction to deal with, but I would still pick this up because it can help you in the long run. Next, we have Crash Course, plus 120% impact for rifles. Impact on rifles can be alright. I'm not going to say it's the best IPS damage. I don't really see a use for this personally. Impact damage is alright, but I would just go with Slash all of the way. So this mod isn't that useful. I would stay away from this mod, because I think you can mainly get this mod through actually playing the game, or transmutation. For 200,000 credits and 330 ducats, this just doesn't seem worth it to me. Next, we have Primed Ravage. For 100,000 credits and 280 ducats, you get plus 110% critical damage for shotguns. Now, this primed mod is really good for if you love shotguns because the critical damage does help you output more damage overall, and it can be a crucial mod to your setup. I would highly recommend you pick this mod up because it is good and it does help you deal a lot of damage. Next, we have Primed Chilling Grasp. For 125,000 credits and 350 ducats, you get plus 165% cold for shotguns. This is really good if you want to do viral for shotguns, mainly viral. Cold is also alright. The cold element is actually a pretty decent element on its own. I definitely would pick this up because it is a primed mod and it can be very helpful. And it's fairly good on the credit side. Ducats not so much, but with a primed mod, you do get what you paid for. Next, we have the Prisma Yamako Syndana. Now, this Syndana is a Prisma variant, so it does have that Prisma effect. And I'm not going to lie, it is actually one of the better Syndanas that Baro brings. This Syndana also does have movement physics, so that's very nice as well. Now, this is all personal opinion. I would not pick this up because it doesn't help me in the game as much as, say, a mod or a weapon would. I think you should stay away from this. It's purely cosmetic. For 250,000 credits and 400 ducats, this just doesn't seem that worth it to me. It is very expensive. But yeah, as I said, if you do enjoy the look of this, then obviously go for it. Next, we have the Prisma Gracata. For 100,000 credits and 610 ducats, you get this weapon. Now, this is a Prisma variant of the Gracata, so it does deal a little bit more damage, and it has better stats. Even though this weapon is really expensive, I would still try to pick this up because it does go towards your mastery rank. Overall, the Prisma Gracata isn't actually that bad. It can be useful in certain situations. Next, we have the Teer color palette. For 300,000 credits and 150 ducats, you get this color palette. This color palette, not gonna lie, I actually use quite a lot. It is one of my main color palettes that I use. I would actually recommend you pick this up. It's got some nice colors that you can use within your fashion. Next, we have the Quanta Aefa skin. I'm not sure how to really pronounce that, but for 300,000 credits and 300 ducats, you get a Quanta weapon skin. The skin doesn't look too bad. It's definitely not worth the price that you're paying for it, and it is a skin, so keep that in mind. It is not a real weapon. I would avoid this because honestly, there are better skins for the Quanta, and it's very expensive for what you get. Next, we have the Prisma Machete. For 200,000 credits and 400 ducats, you get this Prisma variant of the machete. This machete is actually very good and is very quick for a normal melee weapon. Now, this is the same thing with the Prisma Grakata. This weapon can give you Mastery XP, so I would highly recommend you pick this up, even if it is very expensive. Overall, the Prisma Machete is a pretty decent weapon. I'm not going to say it is top tier. It's pretty good for just standard missions. I think this is a pretty good starter weapon, especially from Baro, and you can definitely get some Mastery XP out of it. Next, we have the Odonata Elixir skin. Jesus, that's blinding. This skin, in my opinion, is not worth it, even though it does look cool with the bronze and the triangular etching. It is just a skin. Again, if it was a different type of Arcwing, it'd be a different story. But for 250,000 credits and 350 ducats, it's just not worth it in my opinion. If you want it, then you can pick it up. I would stay clear of this if I was you, but the choice is yours. Next, we have the Mirage Immortal skin. For 100,000 credits and 550 ducats, you can pick up this Immortal skin. It pretty much just gives a few new extra details, as you can see. And overall, it can be worth it depending on what your fashion frame looks like. But that is very expensive for what you get. It is just a skin, so keep that in mind. Personally, I wouldn't because I'm not a big fan of the patterns, but it's personal preference. Next, we have the Prisma Rostam Kubro armor. For 175,000 credits and 400 ducats, you get this Prisma armor set for your Kubro. The Kubro armor by itself actually looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, I do like this look, but I'm not a big fan of running pets, personally. I would rather run Sentinels because they just help my playstyle a lot better, so I would not pick this up. Again, it is personal preference. If you do like it and you do run Kubros, then by all means, go ahead and get it. I'm not saying this doesn't look bad, I just personally wouldn't pick this up. Next, we have the Prisma Lotus Glyph. For 50,000 credits and 80 ducats, you get to buy a glyph. It does look alright, it's got a few different types of colors in there, but I don't know, a glyph for 80 ducats, that seems a bit steep in my opinion. I would avoid this at all costs unless you do like the glyph. Next, we have the Blue Katir Safari K-Drive Scroll. You're not going to be able to see it on my Fever Spine, so I'm just going to show you this preview here. It is pretty much a blue variant of the Katir Safari Scroll for your K-Drive, and it sits on the base of your K-Drive. For 75,000 credits and 75 ducats, you get to pick this up. It is a cool cosmetic. I get what they were trying to do, but it's just not that useful. It doesn't help you in any sort of way, except for looking good. Pick this up if you really want to. I personally wouldn't, but again, it's personal preference. Next, we have the Zaku Prex. For 100,000 credits and 75 ducats, you get to pick up a Prex card of the Warframe Zaku. Now, Zaku is very different compared to normal Warframes. He has a unique ability set, and he actually does look pretty cool. I do have one, because I like collecting these Prex cards, but yeah, this is pretty much just some lore. I guess you can call it a lore item. Again, this is personal preference. If you do like it, you can pick it up. Next, we have the Katir Greth chestplate. I'm not a big fan of the danglies right here. I feel like if it was just this, then it would look a lot cooler. It also costs 300,000 credits and 350 ducats for one piece, which is actually ridiculous. I feel like they should be selling all of these as a bundle, like they used to. Next, we have the Katir Greth leg plates. Again, a cool concept, but I'm just not digging that motion that the leg plates have. It's like a keychain. You can purchase this for 350,000 credits and 400 ducats. And finally, the Katir Greth shoulder plates, which don't actually look that bad. You can pick this up for 350,000 credits and 400 ducats. Overall, this set is very expensive. I would only buy this if you have an excess amount of ducats. I don't think it's worth it. The armor set does look pretty good, but I really wish that they brought back the bundles instead of buying them separately, because that's like 1,150 credits right here. That is actually mental. I would stay clear of this armor set unless you have the spare ducats and credits. Moving on, we have the Berkran Zaft equipment, a replica of the very mop and bucket Berkran Zaft was holding when she witnessed the transmutation of the remains of Archmedian Javi by Lavos, as detailed by Drusus Levirium. This is a lore-based item. It's not very useful. It does look kind of cool for a mop and bucket, I'm not gonna lie, but I would not pay for this. I bought one as a joke. I would not recommend you buy one of these unless you are heavily invested in Warframe's lore. Next, we have the Masker's Theodolite crew suit. For 275,000 credits and 300 ducats, you get the crew suit. Then we have the Masker's Theodolite crew suit hood. For 375,000 credits and 350 ducats. We have the Masker's Theodolite crew suit sleeves for 275,000 credits and 300 ducats. And finally, we have the Masker's Theodolite crew suit leggings for 275,000 credits and 300 ducats. Now, again, the same thing with this armor set. I really wish they bundled this together and got rid of the steep price, because 1,250 credits, this is absolutely ridiculous. Now, I do have a video on my channel based on this Masker's Theodolite crew suit for operator/drifter fashion. If you would like to see that, it'll be linked in the description down below. Honestly, this is a pretty good set once you buy it. It doesn't look good in the previews because of the colors, but in my video, I actually made some pretty decent fashion with it. It does look a bit boxy, but trust me, when you get into a game and use it, it definitely does not look as big as the preview. Pretty unique compared to the other operator/drifter fashion, and you can make some pretty good customization out of it. Moving on, we have the Nakana Elixir skin. For 275,000 credits and 375 ducats, you get a bronze Elixir Nakana skin. This skin, honestly, is probably my favorite Elixir skin. That etching does look pretty good. The bronze looks more orange in this preview, but it is bronze. I just wouldn't recommend you pick this skin up, even though it is one of the better looking ones, because for the price, you don't really get much. Second to last, we have the Fey Path Ephemera. For 1,000 credits and 15 ducats, you get this Autumn Leaf Ephemera. It is very cheap, so I would highly recommend you get this if you are a new player or you're looking to spice up your fashion. It's very good, it's nicely animated, and overall, it is actually a really good starting ephemera. And finally, we have the Sands of Inaris blueprint. For 25,000 credits and 100 ducats, you get the blueprint to start the Sands of Inaris quest for the Warframe Inaris. Now, the quest itself is really good. Inaris, not so much, but it is still mastery. Also, you need to complete this quest to go on with all the other quests in the game. Baro is the only person who sells this, so if you miss this rotation, unfortunately, you're going to have to wait until next one in 2 weeks. But this is how you get the Sands of Inaris quest. Alrighty guys, well thank you all so much for watching. Let me know your favorite item that Baro has brought down below. For me, it would have to be that primed Ravage. That critical damage for shotguns definitely does help in the long run. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. All of that good stuff helps me out. Thank you all so much for the support on my videos. It truly does mean a lot to me. Please let me know anything I can improve on, anything you want to see in future videos. That being said, it's been Swim, guys. Later.